Hi everyone, I'm Spirialis and I'm super excited to be showing off Void Stranger today. Void Stranger is a Sokoban style puzzle game, but it's got an extra layer of like mysteries and meta puzzles and other such things. A lot of people compare this game to games like Outer Wilds or La Mulana. So if any of that sounds even a little bit interesting to you, I would absolutely recommend picking up this game for yourself because this run is going to have a lot of spoilers both in terms of gameplay and story coming up very soon after the run starts. So with that said, can I get what the current winner in the palette choice bid war is?
Absolutely, green is the current winner.
Okay, I'll get that changed as soon as we get into the run. And with that said, we can get started in 3, 2, 1, go! And with that, I'll turn it over to my commentators to introduce themselves.
All right. Hello, I'm Akko. It's short for a chocolate orange, but it's not a big deal. I started playing Void Stranger because Spirialis paid me 100,000 channel points to do it.
I'm evansfight. I go by Scott. I don't usually play puzzle games. They're really far out of my comfort zone, but Spirialis convinced me to give it a try, and I had a lot of fun, spent a lot of time, but I really recommend it.
All right, hi. Hey man, I'm koralreef. Spirialis asked me to go on commentary for this game, and then I played it, and then I really loved it, so hope you all enjoy.
And I do want to briefly mention, we will be leaving the color choice bid war open for the entirety of the run. We can change it like every 5 minutes or so feel free to let us know if that lead changes sell. With that said, as Spirialis mentioned, this is a Sokoban style puzzle game, but our main way of interacting with the game isn't really by pushing blocks around, it's more by manipulating the levels themselves. So the first item that we're going to get is a rod that allows us to pick up and place down one block at a time. And then we also need to get 3.5 other items in order to complete true ending, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so usually as soon as the game starts here, you'll see that Spirialis will head for the stairs, and usually in a casual playthrough, you'll be heading for those in a linear fashion. But because a lot of the progression in this game is knowledge-based, we're going to use our knowledge to find secrets and acquire those 3.5 items, as well as kill 2 specific enemies to unlock the secret area at the end that we call Diz, which we complete to get the true ending.
The most important item for us to get is the wings because it improves our speed and decreases the complexity of puzzles that we have to actually complete to make it through the void. It allows us to cross over single block gaps without falling, and you can also use your rod that you can see Spirialis using now in order to do that. But why don't you talk about what just happened?
Yeah, so one of these main venues of transportation are these locust statues. So as you can see, when Spirialis had 3 locusts and he fell in front of the locust statue hole instead of dying, he teleported to floor 7, so 4 plus 3 is 7. And now we have our second non-locust statue shortcut, which is intended to find, and that brings us all the way to floor 23.
After that, we do have one more method of quick traversal, which is that once we reach floor 28 here, we will find a room that does not have a wall blocking us off from the UI. So you'll see in the bottom right, we have the floor number, and then in the middle of the bar, we have the locust number, and both of those values are really important for us because the locust value, if you change it, that tells you how many floors you're going to warp at a B statue, and then you can, of course, as I mentioned, directly manipulate the floor number in the bottom right in order to go to an arbitrary floor. We can also use the HP value you see in the bottom left in order to store a value if we need it later. But now would be a time for a quick donation.
Absolutely. We have $25 from Court. Hi, Spirialis, Coral, Akko, and Scott. So happy to get to showcase this on the main stage. And thanks to all 4 of you for being some of the most welcoming and most chaotic friends I could ask for.
Thank you, Court.
Yeah, thank you, Court. Thanks. It's awesome.
So now you'll notice that we teleported perfectly to make it to the next multiple of 28. That's where each of these tree rooms are that allow us to manipulate the UI. We're getting the number 55 and 56 here because those are both going to be pretty valuable for us to get to our next goal. It's important to note that we're not going to 67, which is where the Wings brand, which we'll explain what a brand is in a moment, but that's where Wings is supposed to be collected. But instead, we'll be going to room 157 because it's actually faster to get there with our traversal methods than it is to go to 67. Do you want to talk about what a brown room is?
Yeah, so you may have noticed earlier we entered a room that's kind of just a 6x6 grid, and there are boards throughout the game that scribe a certain pattern in a 6x6 pattern. And if you take the pattern from the boards and you make it in the 6x6 rooms, and then you fall down into the void, it takes you into a secret room, which is where most of our items are.
Yeah. So you can see Spirialis closed the game there. It wasn't a game crash. So we had to, even with the UI manipulation, we had to duplicate that 56 number twice because we wanted a 56 HP to store, and to go to B156 in order to get to that awesome floor 157 that we're about to draw that brand that was just explained on.
157 is a very valuable room for us, along with room 53. So remember both of those numbers. We're going to see both of those rooms, I think, twice. Because we can draw relatively arbitrary shapes here because of the amount of glass, or is it ice, in these rooms. So in this case, we got to draw the brand that was supposed to be on floor 67. And so it's important to note that because of that, we're going to get spit out relatively close after that on floor 71. This will be important later for our traversal. And conveniently, we have 12 locusts to get us one floor away from another multiple of 28.
More UI manipulation here to get our stored HP 56 value and turn it into our locusts, and then kill ourselves 3 times to go to 53 locusts and replace our floor number with 53. Our second brand room that we'll be using a lot.
The next item that we need to get is the sword. It is the second most valuable item. And as you can see, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of glass here, so this makes this room very manipulable. Take note of that rock in the bottom right corner, though. It'll be important later. So we are going to fight Tan here in order to pick up this sword. This fight is completely deterministic, and Tan only moves when you do. So as long as Spirialis makes the exact same inputs as he always does, this fight should resolve very quickly. I will quickly point out that there are those statues on the left and right that are blocking our exit. Those statues disappear if you kill all entities that are not you on the stage. And just like that, Tan is dead. So we've successfully gotten the wings and the sword. We now need to find the memory cube, or the void memory, more accurately. That is our third item. And then we also, in having this sword, we now have the ability to go kill the 2 enemies that we need to.
Yep, one of them we're staring at right now, Talking Head Gore. It won't be really a fight, more as such that she spots that we have a sword and that she just really is sick of this place, and so we're just gonna have to put her out of her misery. More for us because we get to progress towards trending. And after this, we'll be heading up to that top right locust statue since we have 53 locusts, 143 plus 53, 196. Nice, a multiple of 28, right? Wow.
Quick man.
Nice, man. So a little bit more UI manipulation here, a bit more advanced, but now we're going to head back to our good friend 157, just go to 153, which is, yes, a multiple of 3. Good job, everybody. Let's go. Couple more floors here, but nothing too crazy since we have wings and swords, so we'll just go back to 157 very quickly.
Yeah, we're going to be inscribing Ad's brand here, which is technically, it's the first brand that you should encounter, technically the 0th, but that will bring us back close to the beginning of the game. We didn't mention this earlier when we were talking about traversal methods, but as I mentioned before, each brand will take you to the room, a room rather, that is immediately after the room that you should be inputting the brand in. But now would be a time for a quick donation.
Absolutely. We have $25 from koralreef, who says, I love Spirialis. That's my goat. Good luck, Spirialis. Have fun. Gonna cheer you on from the back couch with all the 5-and-on gamers. Hi, Scott. Hi, Akko. Hi, Coral. Y'all are the best there is. And just real quick, I want to say we have a new incentive that is open. It's for the Middle-earth Shadow of War run, Fight Sauron. It is an extra boss at the end of the run. So if that sounds interesting, don't forget to scroll down and assign your donation to an incentive when you donate.
Yeah, Spirialis, just thank you very much, Carrie. That was a wonderful donation.
He's my go-to, Carrie. Thanks.
Spirialis just collected this cube that you see in our hotbar now, and what that does is it allows us to talk to rocks. Don't ask how I know. But now we're heading over to floor 30 to kill the second enemy that we have to kill. Sorry, multiple of 28. We're not stopping here.
Oh man.
But once Spirialis gets here, we're going to be striking this statue 23 times and then waiting 23 seconds. So, Sel, good luck.
All right, let's see. We have $100 from CDC, who says, I needed to make sure I was up for Void Stranger. 2024 was a great year for video games, and Void Stranger was the best surprise and my favorite game of the year. I love the part when Gray redacted, and redacted, and then redacted, baby redacted, Lily redacted. I'm not sure what that all means, but I hope you all understood that.
I do.
Yeah.
About.
We also have $10 from GUI Phantasm. Hi, Spirialis. It's so awesome to see Void Stranger at GDQ. Thank you for this run. System Erasure's Discord server has your back. May you attain enlightenment.
Oh, it didn't do the sweat that time. So Spirialis did a little tech there where I believe when Tail's tail, that tail is the enemy there, when Tail's tail comes into range, even if you would otherwise not be able to attack, you can there. But real quick, what just happened is that Spirialis used a bee statue to warp our way to another multiple of 28, but that also, of course, sets our locus to 0. And that's very convenient because we needed to get exactly to floor 0 in order to get our 3.5 item. So we're getting an upgraded rod here. This is the super rod. It gives us a backpack of sorts where you can collect as many tiles as you want from the level. And it works sort of like a stack. So the last block you collect is the first one that gets placed down. And we're going to jump right into 053 and then put in a very late brand, the Sif brand. Did I just hear a DIS noise?
Yep.
And this will take us to a very late part of the void, room 224. And then what we're going to do is input the DIS brand to get past the end of the void into the supposed computer system or server that is running the entire void, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so now we have all the items we need, as well as the super rod. And this is a 6x6 room like the rest of them have been. But the difference between Dis brand and every other brand is that Dis has no brand, so you progress into the Dis world by taking away all the tiles, which we need all the items for. And the reason we have to go to exactly this floor is because every other brand room, every other 6x6, had at least a rock in it, which you couldn't get rid of no matter what you did.
Now that we're here, we can take the opportunity to explain a couple mechanics. You'll notice that the stairway is technically open for Spirialis to go through, but there's that black statue staring at it. If we try and go into the stairs, when that black statue is in front of it, it will completely reset your run. It'll put us back to floor 1. It'll reset all of our values, so we don't want to do that. Instead, we have to complete the puzzles that are requested of by the other statues that we saw in those rooms, which are add statues. By the way, keep track of who's who. This will come up later. So add statues give us a puzzle that you have to complete in the room, and we clear those statues in order to move the Sif statue. Similarly, we see various other statues that are related to different void lords that exist in the lore. For example, the statues that we're running past in all of those rooms were Mon statues, which will turn you to gold if you have line of sight to them. You see them being very relevant in this room. We have to make sure we don't have line of sight to any of those statues.
They do see in all 4 directions, all 4 directions, that is.
And then you'll notice that there's these other statues that are flickering every time we kill something, and they disappear once all of those die. Those are the Tan statues that I mentioned earlier. Now would be a good time for a couple donations.
Absolutely. We have $50 from Crystal Ships, who says, it's great to see 4 of the coolest people I know on stage at GDQ. I've never been so excited to have a game spoiled. Shout out Spirialis.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah,
Don't worry, we're not spoiling too much. There's a lot to this game.
Spirialis just went through one of my favorite rooms. You have to pick up your wings block in order to complete that room. And in doing so, you have wings only half the time. When you place it back down, you get access to your wings again. So it's really fun. You may have also noticed that while we were doing that, the statues around the room were lighting up. Those are Lev statues, and they put a limit on the number of times that you can use your rod. You see one in the top right of this room as well as in the center of this one as well.
So that room, the one previous to that one, that was probably my favorite room casually. The solution for that is there's a rock there, and because we have the void memory, we can talk to it. And the solution is if you talk to it like 94 times or something ridiculous like that, it says like, hey, why don't you change the color palette? And which is just the game's way of getting you to pause the game, which is what progresses the statue on top of the button that we use to open the staircase in the room.
And speaking of changing the color palette, I assume we're still on green. It seems like there were a lot of green believers. I saw it go up to like $300.
Green is still in the lead, but of course you can change that anytime with your donations, everyone.
So I heard from a bird that Spirialis hates the yellow palette. So if you want to annoy him, go ahead and bring that one up.
Oh my god, my favorite room. So like as you saw with that one room where you had to take away your wings, the game forces you your first turn to take away your sword, and so you have to go back and push some of these statues just like pre-sword. It's really fun, and you have to use your sword tile to get to the end of the stairs. Really clever puzzle.
This is one additional mechanic that we have not yet seen. Those blocks with the X's on them, they will kill you with a lightning bolt if you stand on them, and they'll kill enemies, which we'll see right here. You'll also notice that Spirialis is traversing this room in a bit of a strange way, despite it looking like it would be relatively easy to just go and sword all those enemies. There are once again add statues there that give you a specific puzzle, and in that case what it is that you have to kill them in a specific order with specific methods. By the way, remember the room that we just went through? The plus sign is very important there.
It'll be very important for later. Don't ask how I know.
These statues, by the way, can only be moved one block before they get stuck in place, and then the statues that Spirialis is pushing right now create a block if they're pushed into an empty space. That would be a good time for a donation.
Absolutely. We have $50 from Squeal. Hello from the back couch. So glad to see Spirialis on the big stage. It's been so awesome to go from watching you play this casually to destroying the speedrun and making new routes. Good luck with the number manipulating and the boss fights and the shmup segment, but don't ask how I know.
Oh, by the way, pop quiz. I told you about all these statues. Which one is in which order? Too late. Spirialis already figured it out. Good job.
Way to go, Chad.
Now we're coming up on the B boss fight. So B transforms into this massive beast and spawns a swarm of, say it with me, flies.
It's not Lord of the Bees.
Yeah, so B is short for Beelzebub. And if you've been paying attention, I've said the names of several other Void Lords, which you may be able to notice the short versions of as well. But real quick, let's talk about the mechanic here.
Yeah, so this fight might seem random at first, but is completely controllable. As when you hit B, all these swarms of flies come out, but they swarm on your initial position, so you can always control them and make sure that you're passing time with your rod, since this fight follows the same rules as 10, as we saw before. B is completely gate-kept by the game rules, so completely safe. So.
Ooh, nice job, pausing there to think about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, she's all the way over there.
No, we're good though. That was the last hit.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah, so if you couldn't tell, B's HP corresponds to the number of dark flies that still exist, and each time you hit one of those, her HP goes down by 1. But yeah, briefly, we'll talk about, I'll mention some of the other names. Mon is Mammon, Gore is Belphegor, Tan is Satan, etc. But with that said, we are now into Sif. So as I said earlier, almost every enemy in this game respects the sort of game rules of like game ticks and the discrete units of movement that you have. So, for example, earlier when we ran into individual enemies, or even during the B fight or the Tan fight, you saw that they would only move when the player moves, and they would take one action each time you take one action. And they also have all their attacks happen in discrete intervals, like single tiles. But Sif completely bends all of those rules. You'll see immediately that Sif's attacks are on timers that are completely independent of our motion, and they move completely continuously rather than discretely. And unfortunately, at this point, it doesn't matter if we void, but that is what happens when you die when you have no locusts. So B, in the previous fight, ate all our locusts because she represents gluttony. And if you're paying attention, some of the other ones match as well. The Gore statues turn you to gold because Gore is greed. With that said, as I mentioned, this fight is all continuous attacks while we still have to move discreetly. So it makes for a very, very challenging boss fight where we
It's
have only 1
brutal.
HP.
Yep.
Yeah, this fight took me in the ballpark of 8 to 10 hours to do casually. It's really tough.
Sif has 28 HP, and you can decrease Sif's HP by 1 by attacking her with a block from our rod. So you have to eat away at your platform that you're sitting on in order to attack Sif. Sif will advance to phase 2 after getting hit, I believe, 16 times. So we want to just barely ride up on that here by hitting Sif 15 times. And then with 28 total HP, once we've depleted the entirety of that, we will advance directly to phase 3, which is a desperation phase that we just have to survive in order to beat Sif. So you'll see Spirialis unload here while Sif is charging up an attack, and that will put us into phase 3 as soon as we're out of this.
You'll notice that he makes this sort of checkerboard pattern when he picks up the tiles. That's just the fastest way for him to pick everything up while also giving him the greatest range of motion he has to dodge all of Sif's abilities.
Yep. Also, light flashing lights warning.
Yeah,
here.
minor flicker warning here.
But yeah, here we go into phase 3. This is Sif's desperation phase. They're gonna be throwing everything they have at you. So these square waves here, you have to step over them before they completely overlap on your initial square. And the second attack, or the second shot type rather, would be these diamonds. They have a kind of generous hitbox, but they can be really mean with their spawns.
Yeah, I think these square waves are super cool because it's like basically forcing you to play with the fact that you are moving in discrete units while Sif is making these continuous attacks. So those square walls will kill you if you touch them, and they are completely solid. So we have to skip over them with our movement options.
Oh my god.
Nice. But something else that's interesting to note here about Void Stranger is that it uses
Nice.
2-bit color,
Go.
which means that we have 4 color options at any given time. And all 4 of those colors are on screen right now, but as we get to the end of this desperation phase, you'll see these 4 colors go down to 3. I might be a little early. There we go. Down to 3. And then down to 2. And then we use a little bit of dithering before we go down to 1. Just black.
Bang.
And that is the Sif boss
Yeah.
fight. Incredibly well done,
Way
Spirialis.
to go, man.
I was hoping to get it first try, but we'll take second try. That's still really
I mean,
good.
that first attempt didn't count. It was early.
Yeah, that was a warm up.
But yeah, thank you everyone who donated for that. We were really excited to show that off.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I'm super glad I got to show that off on stage.
This is finally going to bring us to the last part of True Ending. There's going to be a lot of cutscenes here. Sel, if you wanted to take the opportunity to read a few, go ahead.
Absolutely. First, I want to remind everyone that, of course, you can still change the color palette of this game. Green is in the lead, but violet is catching up. So don't forget, put your donations towards that incentive. We also have $23 from Devoys, who says, here's to my favorite game of 2023. And Comet625 with $20 says, hi Spirialis, hi evansfight, hi Akko, hi Coral.
Hi, comment.
Hey.
Hi, Comet.
Hey, man.
Thanks for the donation.
Got time for one more?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have $10 from Chewy and Cat. Was so stoked to see a Void Stranger run. We've played this game for so many hours, and this run is still blowing our minds. Incredible run. I agree. This is phenomenal to watch. Such good job.
This is Lev, by the way. Spoilers.
Anime character development.
Yeah, there are spoilers in the true ending final cutscenes.
Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, Lev was pretending to be dead, or maybe was dead, and then got resurrected by collecting locusts, which Gore helped them with. Which Gore was also...
Oh, Mon.
No, sorry, Mon. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mon was supposed to be dead.
The embodiment of greed.
I guess, did we mention... So we also... I guess I should go through the other Void Lords. We have... What's the order? It's Ad, Eos, B,
Yes. Then Mon.
Mon, Tan,
And Gore.
Gore,
Lev,
Lev,
Sif.
Sif.
Yes.
Dis,
I don't know
yeah.
what that was.
And some of them might be more obvious than others. Like Sif is Lucifer, Ad is Abaddon.
Lightning bolt.
Lightning Bolt.
Right. Each of the names is just a 3-letter like substring of one of those Binsfeld demons, I believe, is the.
Aside from Ad, right? Ad isn't the
right.
film.
Ad is a
Lightning
completely
bolt.
separate thing.
I was late, man.
Nice try.
I also want to say that at the end of this cutscene section is going to be the last chance to change the color palette. So if you want to get those donations, do it.
Do it
Very-
now.
Yeah.
Do it
right
right
now.
now.
Right
Violet.
now.
Come on, Violet.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
I
green,
love
actually.
caring
the
for
I
red.
like the violet color palette. Wait, let's go.
red.
Let's
Change for
go
red.
yellow.
Let's go yellow.
So Ad possesses us here to fight Lev. Very surprising plot point if you come into this after having played much of the game.
Unless you're Z and you solved it 4 seconds into playing it casually.
Right.
Shoutouts to B52 as Lily.
Yeah,
Great puzzle, guys.
A lot of this cutscene kind of comes out of nowhere when you're playing this game casually. And you kind of have to do some like piecing together the lore, kind of in the same vein as like Dark Souls games, in order to actually understand what's going on in the plot.
Yeah, it's delivered very non-linearly. Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of weird to say non-linearly because the flow of time in this game is not really linear either.
Right.
If you were paying attention when we were messing with the UI, you might have noticed that there's a date on there. So if you want to go back and look at that, you can maybe learn a thing or two about the game.
All right, we're getting to the next part of the run right here. That's right. It's our RPG fight in my puzzle game, actually.
I love genre swaps.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see,
Yeah.
they pull out a big Gundam, and we're level 1, so this might be kind of hard.
Might be kind of hard. Oh, that's why we're Void Zero.
Yeah, because we're the 0th or the first lord. Guess which position Lev is?
Is it 6?
6.
It is.
Oh,
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
but Lev shouldn't be able to kill us, right? Right?
That doesn't sound like a very true ending to me.
Yeah, the giant mech that's creating a star over here shouldn't be able to kill us. I agree.
The sides of the mech kind of look like Majora's Mask.
Yeah, it does.
I can see that. Yeah, it's got the spikes coming out.
Green supergiant.
You can read a couple donations.
I have a very special one here. $223 from System Erasure.
Oh.
Simply, good luck.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's the
thanks.
developers.
Yep, System Erasure developed both this game and Zero Ranger was their previous game, and both those games are incredible. I absolutely recommend those to anyone watching this game.
And so for what it's worth, we did give a pretty strong spoiler warning at the beginning, but
Right.
realistically, like, we didn't really spoil the puzzles, or a lot of the mechanics are still unexplained, and like there's a lot of story to go through even if you did see this. So
Right.
please don't be like discouraged just because you watch this run. If this seemed interesting to you, please go play this game. I love it so much.
I watched a run of this before I played it casually. And
I watched Spirialis play the game.
Yeah, I watched Spirialis run it.
Yeah, I
at
got
Archie-thon.
very little out of watching this.
Shout out to
run
Archie-thon.
once.
Shoutouts Archie-thon.
Can we get a final palette choice check?
Absolutely.
Archie.
It's going to be green.
Okay.
Okay.
I love green.
And we can close that bid war now because this is going to be our last chance to change it.
Yeah. Archie-thon, real quick. Celeste Community Marathon, where we play other games. Check us out. Twitch.tv/Celeste Community. I guess now would be a good time if you have shout out Spirialis.
First of all, shout outs to my commentators. All 3 of them played this game because of me, and I really appreciate them putting in many hours to play this game and then help me out with commentary on this run. So shout outs to them. Shout outs to the System Erasure Discord, all the people there. Very good at making memes, I'll say that much.
Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt.
And also shout outs to the Celeste community and all those people filling up the bat couch right now. Shout outs to all of them. Any shout outs from you guys?
Shoutouts to System Erasure once again. the Steam Summer Sale. Their games are never on sale ever. It's like once in a lifetime fire sale. You guys gotta play Zero Ranger and Void Stranger.
Which one of them did the soundtrack? Shoutouts to
Ebrosky.
Ebrosky. The soundtrack for this game is incredible. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it makes it so that you can sit in a room for 4 hours stuck on a
Yup.
puzzle and not mind. It's
Been
so
there.
good. The art is also incredible. But yeah, also I wanted to shout out Blaze producing right now and all of the producer team. It's wonderful working with them. And shout outs to everyone on production now and throughout the event, doing a great job.
And great, now we're in our shmup. So, right,
Yeah.
stage 0, we only have one stage. The shmup is basically story, so like it doesn't matter that much, but I'll just explain the mechanics anyway. So, killing 5 enemies equals 1 orb. There will be 4 spots in the shmup that actually matter for the speedrun in determining like when to progress to the next part of the stage. So right now, if you've played the shmup before, some of the secrets are actually like breakpoints for when the stage continues. So right now, the main focuses are killing the last big ship in each wave of enemies. And we'll see a bit more of the enemy types later. We have 2 main mechanics here. We have our blade, which kills white bullets and enemies, of course. And we have our hold to shoot, so our gun. It's actually, fun fact, it's a little bit more DPS if you shoot while next to a big ship, like right there, because the wings, like the flickering wings, actually do damage along with all full of your bullets being like shotgunning the enemy.
If there are multiple enemies that you have to hit, is it better to sword? Like if they're close enough to each
It
other?
depends on if you can actually hit all of them with your glowing wings.
Yeah.
If they're spaced out, then you want to be using the sword.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this section. I'll be honest, I'm still on the Sif fight.
Played it once.
Oh yeah, one of the breakpoints right there, killing that big ship early.
I know this song.
There's a lovely vocal version of this track if you go and play this game yourself. Or if you don't, go check out the soundtrack anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and these orbs have a lot of mechanics in addition to one that were mentioned before. What I did just there is that if you blow one of them up using your ranged attacks, it will clear all the bullets on the screen,
Oh yeah.
which is super useful, especially there's a harder shmup version as a mini game that is absolutely brutal, and you want to be familiar with every mechanic that this shmup has to offer for that.
Vouch for the hard mode of this. It took me a while to clear, but I think it was a really fun clear, really worth.
Yeah.
System Erasure never lost their charm when designing a shmup.
Yeah, we talked about how hard that Sith boss fight was, and the hard mode of the shmup is arguably harder than that, believe it or not.
How much time do we have left?
We have like 3 minutes left
Okay,
with this black hole mini boss.
real quick, make sure to check out Spirialis at twitch.tv/Spirialis, spelled exactly as you see on your screen right now. He streams odd hours, sometimes 18-hour streams if you're into that.
My God.
Not recently, but I have done that in the past, yes.
Streams all kinds of stuff. Are you planning to do some more? You are planning to do some more Void Stranger runs after this, right?
Yeah, I might try some weird categories like all endings.
Ooh.
That would be a long run. Depending on what you consider an ending in this game, there's somewhere in the range of like 10 to 25 endings. This game has a ton of content. Like, even after finishing True Ending, if you want to finish all the content in the game, you're like maybe halfway done.
Yep. My casual playthrough, which was all endings, pretty much was 99 hours, and 99 of those hours were with Spirialis' help, helping me every episode of the Let's Play. Very fun. Last time, enemies here, kill them fast to get to the boss.
Did you want to mention your stream too?
One last flashing lights warning, by the way.
No? Yeah, flashing lights when this sky explodes. This is Lev, by the way, if it wasn't clear.
Yep, so 6 orbs on the statue here.
Yeah, he's collected the 6 human souls, and he's
I've seen this movie before.
6 human souls. We're going to break all of them at once. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we had Undertale yesterday. I have to.
That was yellow, though.
Yeah.
All right, and time's going to be when the statue explodes in just a few seconds.
Yep, but what if? Nah, I'm kidding.
And that's time.
How about what if, man?
Real quick, if you enjoyed watching us here, myself, Coral Reef, and Spirialis will all be on for Rabbit and Steel tomorrow afternoon, like 4:30ish. So if you enjoyed listening to us, come back. Along with Court, who's back there.
I know I'll be there.
Looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun as well.
Anything else you wanted to say, Spirialis?
No, I think we've already done our shout-outs. Any last words from either of you?
Enjoy the rest of the event.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.